It's like, what?
Yeah.
It's so ridiculous.
It's like a legal dry hump that you can do to like anyone who doesn't already have someone doing it to them.
Right.
It's pretty foul.
Just like any ass that's
yeah,
unattended to.
That's not occupied.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's a weird
it's so
thing.
Strange. I can't imagine like 14-year-olds doing it.
Oh, they were not shy. They were absolutely not shy.
Wow.
And it was kind of like the goal too. Like at the end of the night, you like compared who had grinded with who, and like if you hadn't grinded with like or ground, I don't know, ground with if you hadn't been ground by the person that you wanted to ground you. Yeah, it's like a vile term. Ugh. The whole thing is like pretty reprehensible.
Yeah.
But that's how it was. And then Sweet 16's like not as much really, because by then you kind of knew what was up and knew that like just because a girl was dancing with like nothing behind her, be it wall or human, you knew that like that wasn't an invitation. Whereas when you were 13, you thought, and then again when you were 20,
right?
You have like a moment of clarity, I think, around the Sweet 16s where you're kind of like, you know that it's just not an invitation.
I don't know. Well, around that age, at least for guys, you just know you got nothing going on.
Yeah.
Like when you're younger than that, you don't know yet. But I didn't go to any Sweet 16 type of events.
Oh, I had a Sweet 16.
I don't think I knew any girls at that point. Literally.
Not many boys came to mind, actually. But I was called by Jason Mewes on my 16th birthday.
Who?
So there's a fun fact. Jay of Jay and Silent Bob fame.
Oh.
He sounded high as fuck, and he called me in the morning at like maybe 10 a.m. because my cousin really was working on a movie with him. And
okay. Do you know which one?
It's called Nether Beast Incorporated.
Huh. Okay.
It was a very small movie. And
IMDb that. People who listened.
Yeah, I have yet to see it because they have not sent me the DVD yet, Auntie Lori, and Uncle Miguel. But Jason Mewes called me and he was like, "What is it like your like 16th birthday or some shit? You rent out a hotel?" And he was like very, very confrontational. And I don't think he understood why I had like actively sought out an autograph from him because I really liked Jay and Silent Bob at that age.
Right.
And we had like a 10-minute conversation. And the whole time he kept asking me if I was recording it. And I had like a flip phone. Like, no, I wasn't. I don't know the buttons. And that was like a 16th birthday present. And it was the best present I ever got. But it was like, the older I get.
Kind of an asshole.
Oh, he just sounded very like tired and very strung out.
Yeah. During the filming of a movie. He probably just thought it was like, I gotta do this thing for what's his name's kid.
Yeah, it sounded like he was laying in a hotel room bed. And I was like, I'm not so much burping as I'm like letting out air.
I know, because we're consuming a lot of air.
Mm-hmm.
In addition to the liquid.
Mm.
We should actually move on.
Okay.
We are 18 minutes in.
Big 18.
Yeah, sweet 18.
I'm only 18.
I'm going to start. Although if you had a flip phone when you were 16, you might be.
Yeah.
Speaking of air, though.
Nice transition.
Perfect segue. My current events article today is not... It is an article, but it's not a news article. And it's not current. It doesn't relate to anything. We're doing a number of new things on the podcast today.
There's a girl on the podcast.
It's there's a girl! Gross!
Gross! Get me out of here.
Maybe we'll get some girls to get into the idea of drinking 40s.
Mm. I can try it. I can make some friends.
Oh my god, you are not doing well.
I know. Hold on. You talk.
I'll do. Yeah, you go. So mine is a WikiHow article. If you're not familiar with the site, get familiar because it's fucking awesome.
Is it current?
It's always current because anyone can edit it at any point.
Okay.
But it's a how-to sort of thing, and the how-to I'm talking about today, I realized when I thought to do this that I thought to do it because I had tried to tell you and your friends about it at the pool the other day, but I couldn't remember anything about it.
Yeah, that is a true
story. So then I went back and looked it up, and I was like, hey, that would be good for the podcast, so here it is.
I wondered why you didn't follow up with me personally.
So it's how to survive a long fall, and specifically a fall from, like, an airplane.
Speaking of air.
Like if your parachute doesn't open on skydive, or I guess if you get flung from an airplane lost style, like the fuselage breaks up, something dramatic like that. It doesn't say in this article. It doesn't really. It should make a disclaimer like you'll probably die, and even if you don't, you're going to be so injured you won't be able to move. It doesn't really say that. It just matter of fact.
That's an ethical question that we won't get into.
We could get into it, but let me just tell people who can't read what this article basically says. First of all, you're going to want to, the standard skydiving pose where it's like you're just...
He's doing it right now for the no one who can see.
You're all flat and like you have your arms and legs out and you have your back arched. You're supposed to do that to
In your seat, though? Or do you get up out of your seat and lay down?
Your seat?
In your plane seat.
Oh, this is after you're out.
So before impact, but you're no longer in your seat?
Oh no! This is like if you're in the air and you're at terminal velocity and you want to that's your life now and you want to figure out the best way to move on from there.
That's your reality.
Yeah.
Huh.
So you don't want to necessarily go completely spread eagle. First of all, because you're not strong enough. No one is, because the wind will knock your legs back. But just kind of just try to make yourself big. And then you can also steer a lot, apparently.
Steer theoretically or steer in the heat of the moment?
You can actually steer because, you'll have a lot of adrenaline and you'll be calmed down once you steady yourself, once you're not just tumbling through the air.
I don't know how much that would calm me down, but continue.
Well, if you want to live, this is what it's saying.
Mm-hmm.
You can steer, if it's like a plane fall, you're going to be in the air from 1 to 3 minutes. And you can go...
1 to 3?
Yeah. And you can go horizontally, up to 3 miles. Steering just... Like
a squirrel? Like a flying squirrel?
Yeah, kind of, except with fewer flaps. Oh, speaking of flaps, there's this girl, woman, 60-year-old woman on the bus today. She was in very good shape, but she was still old, so she just seemed like an in shape. This is from behind. She just seemed like an in shape person, but with just wings, just so much.
Was she in a tank top or?
Yes, tank top.
Hmm.
No flex given. Anyway.
Yeah, good for her.
So you want to aim towards, recently tilled fields.
Okay. So this is
ideally
Pennsylvania.
Right, I don't know.
Trash.
How can you tell when you're falling from an airplane which fields have been tilled?
If you have 1 to 3 minutes, I kind of think that no matter what height you're falling from, it takes 3 seconds to hit the ground.
It's not true.
But you'll be in situations, hopefully.
You could hypothetically get bored.
Yeah,
before you die.
I get bored after 40 seconds of a task.
Yeah.
And if my task was not dying, I don't know. Probably it would take me more than 40 seconds to lose interest, but presumably.
It's actually step 5 is don't lose interest.
Just try to focus on the task at hand.
Yeah.
I know it will get repetitive.
Okay, so then you steer to the right place. Oh, if you're going to land in water, try to land in turbulent water, because flat water is basically concrete.
So if you're flying above a flat river,
yeah,
there's a kind of situation where you can tilt and be I gotta find a recently tilled field or something else.
You can dip your shoulder. As long as you don't dip it too much, then you start tumbling.
There's
a lot of time in the air. Are there
success stories?
There are thousands of people who have survived falls. Not thousands alive, but thousands ever.
Right.
But then once you find the place when you're landing, it's all about feet first. You land feet first every time.
But then it's ankle bones break, knee bones break, hip bones break, neck bones break.
But organs don't break. That's the point.
Organs intact.
And
I don't want organs if I don't have knees.
The thing is, you want to really control the bounce. Because most people die when they bounce. Because you're going to bounce really high. Because you fell from 1 billion feet. You're going to bounce at least 20 feet probably. And then falling from 20 feet fucking sucks.
Yeah.
So it's just as bad. So you basically protect your head.
Can you imagine surviving the bounce and then, surviving the initial impact and dying on the second bounce?
That would suck. Apparently that happens to a lot of people. So you try to protect your head on the second one. And then you're pretty much a bloody pulp, but at least you didn't die. And it's not 100% true, but this is one of those things if I'm definitely going to die, what's a thing that maybe I won't?
I mean,
so it's useful.
So we would love to hear your success stories. Please post them in the comments.
Everyone who's fallen the comments.
Since they heard this, have fallen.
I don't know if I have a comments.
We gotta enable comments.
Oh yeah. Wow, we only have like 4 minutes left.
We do? Yeah. Fuck. Okay. Well, here's my news story. Gwyneth Paltrow tweeted.
Oh yeah.
She tweeted that she tweeted from the stage at a Kanye West concert. NI**AS in Paris for real. Then she tagged a bunch of people.
Did she have the asterisk in the tweet?
She did.
She did?
She did. So I don't understand if you can't even say NI**AS.
Wait, I say that all the time.
They named the song what they named the song. Like if I named the song, okay, so I'm Italian. So is it WAP or Guinea? What is the Italian one? Okay, so if I named it Guineas in Paris, if you're,
it's just I don't know. It's very close to Paris.
Yeah, really. Proximity-wise, it's not so shocking.
Yeah.
Okay, if I named it like Guineas in LA, how about Guineas in Tokyo? I don't know. I do that assuming that other people will, when talking about my song, say, "Have you heard Guineas in Paris?" Or sorry, LA by Lindsay.
Right. I mean, well.
We'll say, "No, I haven't."
Of course, it's hard to equate the two.
Well, I feel a little bit bad for Gwyneth Paltrow because she's so Aryan that, like, if this was Eva Mendes and she said, like, NI**AS in Paris.
Even someone with just, like, totally white with brown hair.
Yeah, exactly. If this was
and she
Anne Hathaway's pretty Aryan.
She also has a reputation for just being an insufferable person, right?
I mean, she's, like, this androgynous Aryan, like,
Did she have, like, a blog with, like being an asshole or something? I don't know.
It's called Gloop, I think. I want to say it's called Gloop.
Drink more.
Goop. I'm sorry, it's called Goop.
It's called Goop. Oh my god.
She also has a book, a cookbook called Cooking with My Father.
It's like the Obama cookbook.
Yeah.
Cooking with My Father.
Cooking with My Father, as if anyone gives a fuck.
Yeah. Yeah, she seems to
I'm not saying I didn't read it.
She seems to think that since she's famous, that she matters.
Yeah, and then, to, like, kind of shut everyone up about her N-word flap, if you could call it that, she tweeted a photo of herself on the set of Iron Man 3. And she was like, and everybody was like, that was such a cop-out. She did that to, like, distract from...
And if she hadn't said that, everyone would have just been like...
We would have never gotten over it.
If she had just done the Iron Man thing, everyone would have been like, oh my god, Iron Man, yes.
Yeah.
But now it's like, boo.
Exactly. And here's my question. They called the song what they called the song. Mm-hmm. Am I allowed to say it when talking about the song?
Chris Rock says, if it's in the song, you're allowed to say it.
But I don't want to say it on recording. I probably will send this link to my mom.
If you're singing along to the song, you're allowed to say it.
Do they say it? Yeah.
I think so. I don't know.
I'm not one of those girls.
Famously, Steve quoted the song once on this podcast, and I didn't know what the fuck he was talking about.
It's always embarrassing when someone says something like from the zeitgeist that you should.
And you're like, yeah, totally.
Yeah. Yeah, ball so hard.
So hard.
And then they're like, you don't know.
No, it's from a song.
Yeah, well, if Gwyneth Paltrow can't say it, maybe I can't. But people listening don't know that I'm not black. Well, unless that they just heard me. But if they
don't know if you're not black.
Yeah, they don't know if I'm not black.
That's true, they don't. Except for, this is racist, the way you're not finishing that 40.
Yeah, and also for the fact that I don't know many black women that would say they don't know that I'm not black. Because if I were black, I probably wouldn't be talking about Gwyneth Paltrow saying N-word in Paris.
Right, you wouldn't really care. And I read an article to that effect, that it really doesn't matter, and people don't really care what Gwyneth Paltrow has to say, even if it is offensive, and it's arguable whether or not it is.
Can I talk about my second one really quick? Because it was good.
Not really. We don't have time.
Can we put it in premium content?
We've got plenty of time in premium content to go into everything.
All right, you fuckers won't know unless you give us money. That's how that works.
She's on board.
I am on board.
She knows about premium content. Now, the very sluggish listenership on premium content. I guess because people haven't paid, but it's hard to know.
Yeah. Well, you should set up like a PayPal live journal or...
Yeah, we should do stuff.
Hit my tooth.
Oh, speaking of which, let's just go right to premium content.